Do want to switch gears a little bit to a different hotel. The five-star Dorchester is paying homage to Charles's mother's coronation. How are they doing that?
Yeah, that's right. Well, they've completely decorated the exterior of the hotel. It looks pretty amazing. So in 1953, a really famous theater designer draped the outside of the hotel to make it look like a grand London theater. And they've done exactly the same thing now for King Charles. So the outside is draped, looking like a theater. The only difference is the colors. It was red in 1953, and today it's blue, and it does look spectacular. If you're in London, definitely take a stroll by for sure.
If you're in London and let's say you want to celebrate by maybe having a spot of afternoon tea, what other places should you go to?
Well, here at the Goring, of course, there's a lovely one with little cakes decorated with carriages, crowns, and the King's crest. And the Rosebery at the Mandarin Oriental has a Highgrove tea in collaboration with the King's Country House, Highgrove. You might remember that from The Crown. And they're little jams and teas from the estate's organic farm. And the Coronation tea at the Beaumont Hotel is inspired by the crown jewels. So there's a selection of handmade pastries in the royal jewel colors. So there's emerald, ruby, diamond, and golden topaz cakes. And there's a coronation afternoon tea at the Solarium at Westminster Abbey. And that actually runs until the 31st of July. So there's plenty of time to check that out.
Oh, that's good that they run a little bit longer. That it gives people more of an opportunity to celebrate. But
Yeah, some of them do.
what about dinners fit for a king? Where would you suggest people go?
Wilton's on Jermyn Street dates back to the 18th century, and it's in fact London's oldest restaurant. It has lots of character, and the food is always great. They have a 7-course coronation menu with citrus-cured Cornish monkfish, morel mushroom risotto, and rug estate rack of lamb. So all things that the king would eat. And it's a beautiful setting.
In your piece for Forbes, you pointed out the royal coronation menu at Mandarin Oriental, and it takes us through different eras of the royals. Can you give us a peek into what they're serving?
Yeah, okay, this is a really interesting one. It's headed by Chef Heston Blumenthal. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's the one who does the really wacky, sort of bizarre food combinations, like bacon ice cream, which frankly sounds disgusting, but people like it. So he's reinvented dishes served at the coronation banquets throughout the years. So there's a 5-course menu, and one of the dishes is called flampain. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, made for King Henry V in 1413. Originally, it was a pork pie, but Heston has made it into a dessert. There's a veal sweetbread that was served at King James II's coronation in 1685, beef royale at King George IV in 1821, coronation chicken tart at Queen Elizabeth's coronation in 1953, and the trifle has been made for King Charles's coronation this year.
A pork pie dessert definitely sounds something I would want to hear about. How about you try it? You let us know how it tastes. But let's move on to some libations. Where's the best place to toast to the new king?
Well, almost every bar in London has special coronation cocktails that they've created for this time. I really like the Connaught Bar, the Vesper at the Dorchester, which also has a James Bond theme. Or Claridge's is really great too.
And how do the king's tastes inspire these mixologists' decisions when it comes to making the menu? What drinks are his favorites, and is that reflected in what we're seeing people drinking?
Apparently, the king's favorite pre-dinner drink is a martini. So a lot of the bars have twists on various martinis that he likes. So the Londoner in Leicester Square has 3 new martini cocktails. The Ivy on West Street has a limited edition drink they call the King's Martini. And one of my current favorite bars, the Painter's Room at Claridge's, which is absolutely stunning. They have 4 new cocktails for toasting the king. And the Lanesborough has created an English vodka martini style cocktail called the King's Coronation, which has sherry in it as well.
It sounds like you're really in for a fun weekend this upcoming weekend, and there's obviously a lot of pomp and circumstance surrounding the king's coronation. Out of all of the festivities, what's your favorite aspect?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that. Well, just how cheerful everything looks, I think, with all the decorations, like the floral decorations and the Union Jacks flying everywhere. I mean, I'm not even particularly patriotic or a major monarchist, but it's cheerful, I think, for anybody to see. And I think the tourists coming in are going to love it.
Joanne Shurvell, have fun this weekend, and thank you for coming on and giving us a sneak peek.
Thanks, Brittany. It was my pleasure.